What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday night, 8:40 p.m. I've got a breakfast meeting tomorrow morning, so I wanted to do the pre-market prep video here tonight on Tuesday for the Wednesday market. So looking at the SPY here, interesting day today. We had a nice red candle right after this green day here on Tuesday. And we closed below the 50-day moving average, so the 50-day moving average is definitely flattening out a bit. But if you'll notice, one thing that I want to bring to everyone's attention here, and something that I've always looked at, is volume. So if we look on Tuesday, we had very light volume traveling all the way up and closing at this 206 and change 70 area. And then today we had a very low day going all the way back down into the 480 area on much heavier volume. So what that tells me, and especially since on Monday we had kind of more volume as well, and it closed down at the fours, is what this tells me is that we've got sellers in the market, and they are up here in this 206, 207, 208 range. And they are selling this. They are selling this thing at the top here. So what happened on Tuesday is we had basically no sellers at all. Light volume. So there was light volume, but it still was able to make a large candle because basically it was all one-sided. They were all just buyers, but then today, Wednesday, the sellers stepped back in. When it got up to that range, they stepped back in and just sold it. And they basically just sold it kind of throughout the day, and they just took over in the PM and just basically just continued to sell. And so what that tells me is that we've got a little bit of a war here. We've had buyers come in at the 204 area pretty constantly. We'll see if that happens tomorrow. But really it's a battle of wills here. So whoever is getting out of the market right now, there are people that are basically liquidating their position over time, and they're waiting until for certain prices, and then basically selling it on the way down. And then obviously people piggyback that, etc., etc. So the question will be, when will this break, and which way will it break? Will it break at the top, and will the sellers lose, basically quit, and the buyers continue, or will the sellers win and take us down lower? My opinion is the sellers will win. If you look, whenever on light volume, the market's going up. So really, there's not that much buyer. The buyers aren't really stepping up to the plate here. In any aggressive way, and I think that's what's alarming to me, and telling me, even like here on this very, very large day back on the 10th, we didn't have that big a volume, and it was a runaway and immediately sold off the next day. So that tells me that the sellers are active, they're coming into the market, and really they're being contested, but whenever they show up, they're winning. And so I think we go lower from here. That's my opinion, and I'm positioned that way as well. So looking at gold's an interesting situation. It's basically in this wedge here. It's behaved really consistently against this uptrend line, connecting these lows. It's basically stayed above that area, and then we've got this little wedge pattern developing here, whether you want to put the trend line here, or however you want to do it. And so we had sellers come in here on Tuesday. Wednesday, again, the buyers came in again on heavier volume. We'll see what happens and which way this breaks. Really, it's an interesting question, because if the market breaks down, gold could break down as well. A lot of people think that a bearish market, a bearish SPY is a bearish for gold. or excuse me, is bullish for gold, but that's not necessarily the case. Case in point is 2008, when people ran out of basically most asset classes, and gold suffered as well. It wasn't until quantitative easing and so forth that gold came about. Now, obviously, with the situation we're in now is very different, so it'll be interesting to see how it behaves. It's been in such a horrible downtrend, and it looks very constructive right now, so my opinion is that it will be up. I actually do have, I've had May 121, 120 put spreads, sold those to open, so I'm neutral to bullish on gold, and I just opened up my June position as well, so with the May position being very profitable.